What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 247. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I am joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Adam Vale.
What's up, internet?
We all
What
saw
you
that.
doing?
We all saw that. What the fuck was going on, bro? You falling and shit during the show? You know?
No.
Oh,
Drops.
man. All right. What the fuck are we doing? Yeah, we're doing questions tonight, aren't we? We're not going to fill up any fluff. Let's just get into it. All right. Questions, man. First question. Two questions are from Ricky San Juan, the only one.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Yo, yo, yo.
Rico, I hope you forgive me because you asked them very long questions, so I edited some of these. Like,
Yo, man, is this dude writing books?
Yeah, he did. Well, actually, Rico is writing books. Oh, man. All right, so first question is, I posted something on Twitter a while back that got a lot of feedback in regards to the game Genshin Impact, a game that is visually similar to Breath of the Wild. I stated in my tweet that even if this game comes out and does everything better than Breath of the Wild, people wouldn't give it as much praise because it's not a Zelda game. How do you feel about franchises that are so popular that most games in that franchise get quote-unquote bonus praise for belonging to that franchise? Let's be real. If Breath of the Wild played exactly the same way it does now, and let's say instead of it being a Zelda game, it was an East game, which is similar to Zelda, do you think it would still get a 97 on Metacritic? All right, so yeah, a little bit of background. So this game, Genshin Impact, is being both praised and ridiculed for being a Breath of the Wild, ripoff. And Riku was pretty much saying, like, yo, if this shit is better than Zelda, no one's going to give it a shot because it's not a Zelda game. It doesn't have a Zelda in the title. So do you think that Breath of the Wild got some of the praise it got just because of the fact that it's a Zelda game?
Didn't this already happen with the last Zelda game? With that game that's out now? I'll look it up. But this already
Skyward
happened.
Sword?
It was that Skyward Sword?
Well, we're not talking about that.
No, I think Zelda gets heaped praise, and Genshin Impact, while I looked at it, and while the landscape looks like Zelda, the game looks more like a Tale, right? The characters are cel shaded, that it has a faster combat. So I don't say it like calling it a Breath of the Wild clone just because the landscape looks similar. It, to me, does the game injustice right there. So they put it in a box, right? So Polygon and all these guys already boxed the game. Like, there's a Breath of the Wild clone. That's not fair, because the aesthetic of the world look the same, but the characters and the gameplay are at all Zelda.
Yeah,
I don't think it's fair at all to do that. But that's how.
Yeah, I just saw some stuff from it. I'm like, yeah. Here's the thing. Like, we at the same time, it's like, well, you could also call Breath of the Wild a friggin' Studio Ghibli clone, where essentially it's just stealing its aesthetic style from any Studio Ghibli movie.
Yo, man, Breath of the Wild is ripping off a Ni no Kuni, man.
Yeah, you could also say that too. It's sad because people already make these judgment calls based on what? Just because because some aspects look similar. What about every single fucking Dark Soul games? And most of those guys don't even hide the fact. Some of these games even call themselves Souls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because there is two conversations we could have about this, and I want to have that one as well. But, do you think Zelda does get, I guess, extra praise, or some franchises do, just because of their existence? Because I'll be honest with you, and I'm just speaking for myself right now, I didn't think Breath of the Wild was all that. It was a very good game, don't get me wrong, very, very interesting type of game. But you compare it to other open world games, that shit wasn't cutting it. And I'm sorry, Horizon was better than Zelda, in my eyes. It was a more robust game. It had better graphics, had a story. Zelda is like, it just kind of, and again, I'm just speaking for myself. They just kind of just throw you out there and like don't even tell you where to go. It's like, come on, man, fuck that. I'm being real right now.
But I think
again, let me finish, because I'm coming off of, I came to Breath of the Wild directly after Zero Dawn. I'm like, This shit don't hold up, son. You kidding me? It was like
But also,
baby's first open world game or something, you know? Anyway, go ahead, Manny.
But do you also think you might have been unfair in the fashion that you in the place that you actually were playing that game?
Oh, probably.
Like,
That's
in
why.
other
That's
words,
why I
the
said.
fact-
That's why I said my opinion 5 times. You know.
Yeah, but the fact, yeah, like the fact that like essentially because you were playing, Horizon Zero Dawn, a game that you very much enjoyed. You're a little bit maybe harsh on the Zelda game.
No. Here's
Because
the
I
thing.
feel because I feel
I would
because I
say
feel
that.
like
Yeah. No.
I feel like
Yeah. Go ahead. No. I was gonna
I feel
let me
like
just say. I would say that until I got like 40 hours into Zelda, and I'm like, oh, this game's annoying me because of the weapon fragility bullshit. That's ultimately what killed that game for me. Go ahead, man.
Because I was gonna say like because a similar situation happened with you and the game Journey,
Yeah.
where you were playing it literally at the same time as another program and game, and you kind of didn't give it the fair shake it deserved because you were so wild. I think you were playing like an Uncharted game or something like that.
No, I was playing Mass Effect. It's this.
You're playing Mass Effect, yeah.
This situation is not exactly the same. It could have been, but it wasn't because I played Horizon Zero Dawn. I jumped right to Zelda, and I'm like, oh, this shit is not as good as Horizon. Then I had to play some other game for work. Came back to Zelda, and I'm like, hey, Zelda's kind of cool. But then as I played it, the weapon fragility, the fact that it doesn't show you where to go, that shit started grating on me. So it by that point, I had already gotten over my my gaga for Horizon Zero Dawn because I got the platinum. The game was done, you know. So I was playing Zelda as a clean slate, and I think basically, if you were to ask me my opinion of Zelda after I had played Horizon Zero Dawn, you shouldn't take those opinions seriously. Take my opinions afterwards seriously, and those are the opinions I'm giving you now. Zelda is a very tedious fucking game. It asks too much of people, and I realize some people like that. I don't like that shit. You know, there's too much with the weapon fragility. The game's not really showing you where to go. You know, it's like I got to a point where I'm like, listen, can I just beat this fucking game and just be done with it? I don't want to deal with this anymore. You know, you have to like craft all this nonsense to go to different areas. Otherwise, you're gonna either burn to death or freeze to death. I'm like, I'm not trying to deal with all this shit. You know, it was not the Zelda experience I wanted. Basically, I expected it to be like like Ocarina of Time, just bigger. You know. And I understand. And again, and by the way, I hate the fact that I have to keep repeating this shit. You know, oh, I'm speaking for myself. I'm obviously speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for Manny. You know, but I'm just saying for me, you know, I think the game very much was overhyped. You know, like, but I still think it probably would have gotten in the 90s regardless. You know, just because people like all the things that have going on in there, but. Let's just be honest, Nintendo games in general, first-party games to get a big boost. We've talked about this many times, and that's one of them, you know. But to Riku's question, it's pure hypothetical, right? What if Zelda existed as its own game without the Zelda title? Would people have liked it as much?
Not as much. People would have liked it because it's a good game, but I wouldn't say as much.
No, there's a lot riding on the legacy of it. So when the game was announced and all this, they showed all these things that link to other games, right? It has that rich history and lore, so people immediately puts it on a pedestal. If you took all that out and just said this is generic adventure game and you can climb anywhere and look at the weather and blah blah blah, like it wouldn't get that much praise. It doesn't have any.
Like here's one example. Like, I mean, the game Okami, which is also considered a Zelda clone. That game, I mean, it got a fair shake, but it didn't get nearly as much of the praise that I think it should have gotten because of the fact that it was because everybody saw it as a Zelda clone.
Yeah,
even for them.
By the way, you just brought up an interesting point. So if it was a game on its own, it would be ridiculed for being a Zelda clone.
I mean, they were like that. That was one of the things that they started saying when people started playing it. It was like, oh, this is like a Zelda game, just with a wolf. Yeah,
it pigeonholes everything. Like, I don't think it's fair. The aesthetics of this game, yes, I would agree. Looks like Zelda. To call it a clone is not fair because that would mean the combat, the game, item management, all that shit that Tony was talking about, weapon fragility, that would all be there. But it's not. Yeah. None of that's there. It just looks like it. You know? So that's not a fair assessment. So you put in this box and immediately people go, oh, they're copying Zelda. Get out of here.
I mean, to be honest, you could also throw Dragon Quest, throw the Dragon Quest 8 and say Zelda was cloning Dragon Quest 8 because that had an open world that you can climb anything, but the environment looks similar, and that's the same sort of logic that a lot of these people seem to be functioning.
Yeah,
on.
it's so frustrating. People do that. It's like they see like a clip or a second. And it's like, okay, that's it. It's a clone. Like, how do you know that?
I saw an article with this dumbass like holding up their stupid Switch and they're putting up a middle finger up to the game. I'm like, yo, come on, guys, you're being stupid.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So somebody went because they were showing off Genshin Impact at some convention, and somebody went up to their booth. You know, they had a nice big booth and everything. I fucking might not putting myself on camera. They had a nice big booth, and this guy on the video, he had his Switch in one hand, then a middle finger in the other. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, what if you played the game and actually liked this shit? Like,
exactly.
You're basing all your opinion on a dumb trailer. You know, it's stupid. You know.
So, to the other question Riku has, I do think that like sometimes it is the legacy of a title that also kind of somewhat overshadows the title as well as the anything that if it was just a game on its own, what I mean. I feel like sometimes a lot of times companies tend to throw a familiar name onto a title just so the fact that they could get that extra pop because it's part of a series. You ever notice how like some games just have these sorts of ideas where it's like a total different sort of game, but they decided to throw this other title on there to kind of make it like, oh hey. You
mean Mario Kart?
Well, I mean, yeah. Like if they just called it Kart Racer, right? Would people even give a shit?
No, of course not. Dr. Mario.
Or what?
How many Mario's been in lend his name to a bunch of different games.
Yeah, bunch of different genres of games. But for some reason, because people like Mario so much, they decide, okay, I'll play this game. It's got Mario in it. Like
Mario Tennis.
Super Smash Brothers, one of the biggest offenders of that sort of thing. Even in fact, Sakurai said it himself. Why don't we put somebody over there said, hey, why don't we put Nintendo characters in there so that people would like it?
Oh, wow.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brand recognition, takes you long, man. It takes you a long way,
Yeah. Like brand recognition just takes it up. Like theoretically, if you didn't let's say you took God of War and took off the God of War name of that game.
Oh.
Would people pay that much attention to that game?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Would you give that game a fair shake if it's just you're just playing bearded guy? Essentially it's the same story.
Beard man and son,
Yeah, Beard Man and Son. Because there's nothing in that game. If you just remove the God of War portion of the game, right? Like you just removed the whole fact that he's Kratos and you removed all that stuff, you still don't affect the story. You're still telling a father and son story. You're still telling a thing. You can give him some sort of a deeper secret that he has that doesn't have to be that he's a god or anything. Or something else, and you still have the crux of the game is still pretty much the same. So would people have paid that much attention if it was just a new franchise?
We all know the answer to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I'll say this, if this was a new franchise, people would criticize more the fact that the first boss battle was way better than the last one.
Shit.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah,
I want to give all day a shout out. He goes, I just pre-ordered Beard Man and Son. Remember that?
Beard Man and Son.
Yeah.
Beard Man and Son.
That's what I'm gonna call God of War from now on. Beard Man and Son.
Yeah. Beard Man and Son.
Yeah, I know, but you're right about that. If it was actually, I think the game would have gotten some attention just because it looks really good. Let's just be honest, graphics.
Yeah, it does look really nice.
But the hype would not have been on that level because. You're right.
But I mean, you look at like Horizon Zero Dawn, right?
Yeah.
That one is like that one got a pretty good one. I guess it also has to do with the looks of the game.
It
that
does,
also
yeah. The graphics of God of War alone would have sold it. Let's just be honest. The graphics of Breath of the Wild would not have sold that game. Like you said, it looks.
Oh hell no! Ugh.
Exactly.
It's not an ugly game.
No,
but
it's not. But come on, man.
I do think that people are very. Let's be honest, critical when it comes to style changes and different styles when it comes to the game. We've said this before when it's like, oh, hey, every single game is these weird, hyper-realistic looking video games when you can also have a different styled game like that. Like if it was just random, cell shaded sort of open world game, I almost feel like people would have just been like, whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Even be
But
just
I also think that part of the style was necessary in order to accommodate for the fact that the Switch lacks in power.
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's definitely a form fits the function sort of situation.
For
Where
sure.
they chose a less aesthetic, they chose a less a more simpler sort of style, so that like a console like the Switch could handle something like that. Could they have done that game in like in the style of maybe like a in a more of a hyper realistic sort of style, like the way God of War Horizon Zero Dawn sort of look? I don't know. But then again, it's kind of looking like the last game too. Like the last game, the Skyward Sword was kind of in that style as well. The kind of cell shaded looking look.
Yeah. All right, let's move on because we got a bunch of questions tonight. Next up, another one from Riku-san. So Riku-san, he goes, I was listening to Throwdown episode 246 when you guys were talking about how the current trend among the masses is battle royale games. If you could decide what the next genre that all developers would work on, what would you choose? It could be from an existing genre, or it could be a complete new one. The example he gives is he'd like to see more third-person fighting arena games like Anarchy Reigns or Bleeding Edge, the new Ninja Theory game. I'm just saying first, I don't want developers to just harp on one fucking genre. That gets really boring really fast, so don't do that, you know?
Can I answer for most of the crew? Or I would assume most of the crew is. If we had to answer, I know Tony said, we don't want to focus on one, but like if we do, if it was just one, I would say single player games.
I mean, that's not a genre, but sure, you know.
For single player, I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a genre though.
I would bring back more fighters like beat 'em ups. Like the newest one I enjoyed playing was Mother Russia. That one's a fun one.
Oh, Mother Russia Bleed.
Yeah. And Raging Justice. Two good ones. You actually get into vehicles. So it's almost like a final fight, but with vehicles and you do stuff. But just bring back that genre. Those you could just put a skin on it, make it all crazy, like Narc and stuff like that. And just, have
Castle
fun.
Crashers.
Hey, Streets of Rage 4 is coming, bro.
There you go.
That's what I thought Quiet Man was going to be.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
yeah, as Adam, it's interesting you say that because Riku-san pretty much wants a 3D. He wants 3D versions of those. He wants 3D versions of those. That's what he wants. They really don't make any of those. To be honest,
well, isn't like what? Nah.
Like he wants a game like no projectiles or anything like that. Just pure punching. That's what Riku wants.
I remember there was some. I gotta find it. It was an old interview with some developer that worked on Capcom for those beat 'em ups. And he talked about like why they couldn't go forward with it, and he said they're mainly just coin eaters. That's it. And
you're right,
quarter eaters. So then it's like once you bring it home and you take that element out of like, wow, if I die, I'm going to have to put money. It doesn't have the same effect because you can just keep pressing start and then just keep going.
Yeah,
So he says it's really made for the arcade, that experience, as opposed to
not to get too off topic. I think that's part of the reason why. It's gonna hurt to say this. Part of the reason why Sega ultimately died because their big thing was we bring the arcade experience back home. By the mid '90s, early '90s, people didn't really care about the arcade experience at home. They wanted like longer, fuller games. Like a lot of these games, like Adam, you already know this, man. You could beat them in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like if you bring them home and you have unlimited continues, effectively. They're nothing, you could beat it fast.
It doesn't have the same effect. And you're just playing it just for the hell of playing because you're like, oh, I enjoyed this. But that I remember that feeling, especially when I final find stuff like shit. I only have 4 quarters. How far can I get? Can somebody jump on player 2, please? Because
they're bringing it back. That's right.
Roll solo on this shit. And I remember one time this one kid was like watching, and I remember he was standing there. I always remember this shit because I remember I got pretty far. I think I was. And it was right after when you jump through the subway tunnels and you're fighting the guy in like a ring.
Yeah.
Remember that
yeah.
He's getting really low. I'm on my last quarter, and I see a guy just standing there. And I'm like, "Yo, you gonna jump in?" And he's like, I'm just watching. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not gonna be able to do this. You know, it's like, oh, whatever.
Yo, by the way, this is how funny memory works. Like, as soon as Adam like said that, because I haven't thought about that in years, right? You know, you wait for somebody to jump in, player two. Like, I even like smelled the arcade at that moment. That's how far back I went. Adam, I went through the tunnel, son. Shit.
Yeah, because you start thinking about, because everyone, when they think of arcades, they always think of this, like, you know, Street Fighter and constantly battling. But no, there was a lot of co-op games. Gauntlet was another one where
Yeah,
you needed a
man.
group of people to play in that one, and it was more fun
You're like, yo,
to
get
go
on
around.
player two, son. Get on player two.
Yeah, just jump in there. And that's why I'm excited for the Ninja Turtle one, because that one had the 4-player. So I'm like, shit, if everybody got in, we had a crew. We're gonna beat this game. You know?
Oh man. Anyway, what genres do you want more developers to do, or to become the next big thing in gaming? The thing that all the streamers are going to be on.
I really don't care of something being the next big thing. I just don't like seeing it tossed down my throat that it should be something that I should enjoy. You know what I mean?
Yes, I completely agree with that sentiment.
Where
man.
it's like, okay, you know what? I get it. Fortnite is not for me. But do I need to see a fucking Fortnite ad every single second I'm on something? No, I don't want to see that.
Or
Sorry.
my favorite, oh, you're a gamer? You play Fortnite, right? Like,
No,
eh,
I don't play Fortnite.
I don't play that shit, man.
I play a bunch of games that don't get advertised to you on TV, apparently.
Oh.
But it was like that. It's like that with every popular game. I remember hearing that with Minecraft. Remember that was
World of Warcraft was the other one, man.
Yeah, World of Warcraft. Whenever I was like, oh, you have a PC. Oh, you play WoW then, right? You're into that WoW. You know, it's like
if you think about it, it's like a weird form of stereotyping.
It is
that people that because these things are so big that apparently people think that is what gaming is. And it's not so at all.
But I think also it's a conversation starter. If they don't know, they just spit out something. Just like if you're wearing a baseball hat or something, you're from New York. We get this all the time. Like, oh, you like the Yankees?
No.
Yankees. How about some Yankees?
All right.
I always get.
Yeah. I'm about to combine both our worlds right now, Manny. You remember this one time we were at GameStop? This was fucking years ago, man. And we were there. We're talking to the guy John, right? And we were talking about metal, right? And this guy comes in. He's like, "You like metal? You like Slipknot? You like Papa Roach?" We're like, "Get the fuck out of here with that!"
Really? No, none of them.
It's hilarious, man.
Yeah, it's because all metal is those guys.
Well, again, he's probably spitting out all that he knows.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? That's probably all he knows.
And remember, like last year, somebody jumped into questions. They were like, "You guys like anime?" We're like, "Yeah, we like anime." It's like, "Have you ever heard of Naruto?" It's like, "Well, okay."
Yeah,
sure.
Right.
Have you ever heard of Attack on Titan? No. Tell me more.
Yo, are you into anime? You like Castlevania? You like He-Man?
Yeah, right.
But you know what it is also? It's also could be also a younger person
It
also
is,
at the same point, because again, all they really know at that point in time is just the things that kind of come over their table. So if they're advertising Fortnite and all these other sorts of games all the damn time, then they think, oh wow, this is interesting. But then again, there's more out there that's not that, you know.
Have you heard of Sword Art Online? It's like, no, I've never heard of it, sir. I never heard of Bleach either.
There's like literally name. It's almost like saying a hidden treasure is Super Mario Bros. Have you ever heard of that game, Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah,
it's so cool.
See, okay, quick story. When I was going to E3 last year, right? See, this guy hit me with. I wasn't expecting this shit. Usually, when somebody asks you if you're a gamer, right? And you expect them to say, "Oh, I love Pac-Man. I love Super Mario Bros." My man goes, "I love Mother." I was like, "Oh shit! Like, where did that come from?" You know, he's like, "Man, that's the only game I played, but I love it." Like that. I'm like, the only game you played in your whole life was Mother. Like, I had to shake his hand.
How did that?
Like, how does that even work?
That's fake news. Fake.
Yeah, I was like, how to shake this dude? Something like that's a hell of an answer, man. Shit. You know. All right, let's keep moving on. Chris, any genre you want?
Nah, not that I could think of.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't see anyone streaming like Souls, and we already get plenty of that. So
you know. All right. Moving on. Axel Wolf. So his first question is, why does everyone think next generation's launch lineup will suck? Unlike in the past, the next generation will be playing all the games this generation still has coming. Okay, but we're not going to
Well,
really count those, are we? You know
well,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
like they wouldn't be coming to this generation if they're not for this generation.
Yeah, like for example, like you could say, I mean, just just for the sake of argument,
Conversation.
for the sake of conversation, you could say that the PS4 had an awesome launch lineup because they had Assassin's Creed and all this other shit. Yeah, I don't count those games because they're last gen games.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, why will the launch lineup suck? Because with the exception of the Dreamcast, all launch lineups suck. They just do. It takes time to make these games, make good games. And just because you're gonna have the next Call of Duty or next Assassin's Creed, that to me, and I'm speaking for most of you guys here, I'm assuming that those games don't count. If they're multi-plat games, multi-gen games, they don't count.
Yo, man, you don't speak for me, man.
You spoke for me. You spoke for me. I speak for you.
Yo, man, you just happen to say what I would have said, but you don't speak for me.
I think the thing about it is it's like just saying, oh yeah, they're games for it. Yeah, they are games for it. But the thing is that what are the games that actually make you also justify the purchase that you just made? You didn't buy. I'm sorry, you didn't buy a PlayStation 4 launch for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You bought it because you wanted those specific sort of games that really showed off the power of the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox.
That's right. So you can't count the last gen games. You just can't. Because otherwise, if you're going to count them, then why not just play them on your last gen system?
Yeah, exactly.
It depends on the game, because remember when GTA 5 came out and it came to the next gen, it brought a whole new mode, which was the first person. So you could play it in first person. It was a completely different experience. It wasn't like, we just put it in first person. Remember, all the vehicles look different, the weapons, just the way you interact with people. So in a way, that was a completely different.
All right, let's settle down with that, Adam.
That was all for
Adam,
first person. That wasn't available in last gen, and that did change up the game.
That is not the reason. That is not the reason why people bought a console. They didn't buy the console just to play that specific version for.
It's always on MPDs, man.
It is always on MPDs.
Yeah, but it's because of first person mode.
It's not selling consoles, is it?
They're getting it though
because it's on everything.
Yeah, but that one that was the only way you could play it in first.
Well, the thing is that how many people were playing first person mode there in there, Adam? I think it's just like it is just an option. It's just like putting VR in every single game. Nobody plays the VR mode unless they have the VR helmet. I think they just pop it open, just like, okay, look, I can play it for a little bit. Okay, back to the normal game.
Because like if we keep using that kind of mentality, then where does the buck stop? Like, is Shadow of the Colossus a PS4 game now? Like, is it? Do we include that as part of the PS4 generation because it got a remake / remaster?
Let's keep it to launch lineup at least. We're getting a little far ahead now.
But I definitely think that like, yes, it did have games, but I mean those are games that you still could have played on a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360.
Yeah, exactly. So those don't count.
Those don't count. Metal Gear Solid 5, as much as you guys think it doesn't count because it's essentially a PS3 / Xbox 360 game.
Yeah, it also wasn't a launch game either, but you're right about that.
And it wasn't a launch game.
Yeah. But no, you're right about that. Like a lot of these games, I'm like, nah, that shit don't count. That shit don't count.
So when you go per capita, when you look at the actual games that were made specifically for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, they were kind of meh. Like it's like, okay.
I'm about to say something controversial.
Oh, what you saying? What you saying?
Yo, if The Last of Us 2 is on PS4 and PS5, that's just a last gen game, man. I'm saying it right now, son.
Oh, you want me to step up the controversial?
Do it. Let's go.
Oh. Breath of the Wild is a Wii U game.
Yes.
Hey,
but you could also say, go back. You want to go back in time? Twilight Princess.
Oh, that's a GameCube game.
It's a GameCube game.
Yo, get Sinbad in here so you could be like, those are the facts. All right, let's move on.
I mean, I feel like for those situations, I think because there was nothing for those original games, for those original consoles, it ended up working for them.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like when you first bought the Wii, what was there really to get for the Wii? Wii Bowling. Wii Bowling came with it.
Wii Sports,
Sports.
Wii
yeah.
Sports,
Wii
yeah,
Sports?
the best-selling game
Yeah,
on the
you know how many
system.
people just stopped there? They
Most of
were
them.
good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were good with Wii Sports. Yeah.
That's
They
it.
had a low attach rate the Wii U. That was the
Yeah.
thing. Everybody just bought a Wii and had it. They were like, "Yeah, this is it. I want bowling. That's all I want to do.
That's
Just bowl."
it. That's
Yeah, Wii
it.
U, Wii U. I mean, Wii Sports is one of the highest selling games of all time, and
Yeah,
that's
you know
some bullshit
why.
because it always came with a fucking system.
Yeah. Some bullshit.
Right. I mean, is the launch lineup that big of a deal? I mean, it certainly didn't kill. Think about PS2. PS2 had a shitty launch. That's like the best one of the best gen. The launch lineup was terrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. You're right about that. You know.
And the opposite was the Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, the ultimate lineup. You know, it's like how
Yeah.
you doing this, man?
How Sway?
How's yeah.
Yep.
All right, man. Let's move on. Where the fuck are we? Do you guys think the PlayStation 5 will have separate SKUs for their games, knowing Xbox One games will play on next Xbox? Is he assuming that the PlayStation 5 won't be backwards compatible? Because it will be. So you don't
Yeah,
you don't need a separate SKU for that, you know?
No, I think, and this is what a lot of people think, that they're going to be separate type of titles for it, where it's going to be a version. So let's say if a new game, Joe Blow 1 comes out, there's going to be one for the PS4 and Joe Blow 1 for the PS5. It's not going to be the same disc, as opposed to a lot of people think for the Xbox, the new one, it's going to be one disc that you get, and you could put it in your Xbox One and it'll play fine. You could put it in your new Xbox and it'll play whatever. So a lot of people aren't sure if it's going to be separate. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like the way
yeah, I
is
got
for
it.
now.
I got it.
Because everything they're saying, everything, at least on the Xbox, they're saying everything's the same. Everything's going to be under one. It's like, oh, so if I get one game, then I can put that one in my Xbox One or in my new Xbox. I don't need to get an Xbox One only game. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Yeah, so because like we know for a fact that if you buy a PS4 game, it's gonna play on your PS5, no problem, right? The other way around probably not gonna work. You know, PS5 game probably not gonna run on your PS4, right? But I still don't think you need a separate SKU. Like, hey, this is the PlayStation 5 version that plays You know what I'm saying? It's stupid,
no, but
but
that's what I'm saying. Like, let's say if a new GTA comes out, right, and it says, yeah, GTA, 6, and it works on Xbox One and PS5 and other ones, is it just going to be one game, or is it going to be different on the shelf, and you grab the one for your system?
Well,
I think it's going to do something like this, where whenever they're going to do those transitional games, they're going to say both versions on the front of it. It's going to say which. It's going to say.
So it's going to be one SKU. It's going to be one SKU.
It's going to be one SKU. So it's going to be like, at least for those games that those transitional games, it's going to say PS4, PS5.
Yeah, because remember, all you need to do for those games is just scale it up and down, on these systems, because they're both running the same shit basically. One's just more powerful than the other. Think about it like PC. Like, man, I think you and I discussed this before. It'll be like, how you have those like. It'll be different though, obviously. Like, how they have like those DVDs that come with the DVD and the Blu-ray, but this will just be one disc. But on it, it'll say PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 compatible, some shit like that.
Those will say PS4, PS5, like right on the front.
Yeah, right there.
And this is still related. This is I don't know if you heard this when Phil Spencer was asked about all this recently. It's like 3 days ago, whatever. He also confirmed that you can play with the let's say if the new Xbox, whatever it's called, Xbox 2, you can play Xbox 2 with Xbox One online. So if we're playing a multiplayer game, and let's say there's FIFA 20 on Xbox One and FIFA 20 for the new one, you can play against your buddies there. Your buddies aren't left behind. You can still play with them. Well, because in the other ones you really couldn't do that.
Well, because I think
it would just show them online.
I think in this situation, the transition is there's a lot of things that are just going to keep consistency between them. So I mean, they're both now everything like the new Xbox, the previous, the Xbox One, and then the new Xbox, let's call it Xbox 2, right? They're pretty much going to be using the same architecture as opposed to the PowerPC architecture that the Xbox 360 was using. Yeah, but so it's all in the same environment. My thing is, I think there are only you're probably just like how you can see your PlayStation 3, PlayStation 3 people can also see PlayStation 4 people on their PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be very much the same thing.
But you can play with them. That was the thing.
No, you can't. I
You
think
can
in this
play with them
situation,
now.
there's going to be a transition between them, where like there are going to be certain games that you can play between,
Because he said
especially
that
the ones, especially those crossover sorts of games where it's like, oh, hey, you know, we're going over from Xbox One to Xbox Two. Those games are going to be able to go. Those are going to be those games that are compatible for both. But I think there's going to be ones that are just Xbox Two games that they will not be able to, you know, you will not be able to play with the previous generation, obviously.
I don't know, because he said that everything is going to work. He says that they're going to be able to talk. He doesn't want to divide the community. He doesn't
Well,
want people to
I
feel
mean, the
left
thing is,
out.
it doesn't mean that you can't talk with anybody or you can't.
No, but he wants them to play. So, like, he was talking about the sport games or shooter games. If there's a Call of Duty version, and let's say it's still gonna, obviously, this next one is coming for the current gen, you know, and then they say they make another one, and it's like, hey, if you want to play online, you want to do a group in the clan mode or whatever, you can do it, even if you're on a previous console.
I think that sort of mentality kind of also screws things over for the new product. But I also think that Microsoft is also functioning in a different zone right now. They're not looking for advancement. They're just looking to spread themselves as wide as possible.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's move on. Where the fuck are we now? Black Metal Gamer. All right, so his first question is: out of every, this is a little bit of a tricky one. I'm gonna read this slow. Out of every game genre, what developers of each genre do you feel do each genre the best? He didn't give us an example there.
No, that's easy. I say
ahead.
Capcom. They do a great job with
Fighting
fighters.
games.
I love-
Okay.
Nintendo does a great
Platformers.
job with platformers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Those are good answers.
Yeah, because that's the thing. If someone tell you, "Hey, Capcom's got a new fighter game coming,"
All right.
you automatically think,
Platinum does really good action games. There you go.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would say it makes good first person. Like
Yes.
they go way
Well,
back, you know.
except for Doom 3.
Oh yeah, then
Hey, you're allowed to have one. You know, you're allowed to have one fuck up.
You only get one.
You get one.
What was
You know,
it?
let's you know what? I just realized a good way of doing this shit. Let's go by genre. Okay, racing games. Which developer does the best racing games in the genre?
the studio that made
Turn 10.
Burnout.
Burnout. Yeah, it's Criterion.
well, that's not really a race. That's just like
It's a racing game. It's a racing
Traditional,
game.
traditional
Okay,
racing.
okay. Let's break it down. Arcade racing game. Burnout. Right. Criterion. Simulation.
Turn 10.
Turn 10. I'm gonna go with Polyphony. That's
I haven't. Man, the last Forza I played was.
You didn't play Horizon? Come on, you got Game
5?
Pass. The shit's free.
No, I'm talking about the
the main one, Motorsport.
the Motorsport, yeah. And Gran Turismo, I haven't played that since 3 or 4.
Yeah.
One on PS3, so
All right. So we covered fighting games.
I like Drive Club. Drive Club is fun, but that ain't.
Tony.
Tony.
What's the one that Brian loves? One of those studios. I forget what studio is it?
It was Polyphony, man. The guy.
Gran Turismo.
Is that the one that makes cars?
That's the one that makes Gran Turismo, man.
No, Brian likes
the Project Cars guys, right?
Yeah, Project Cars.
Yeah, Project
he
Cars,
liked that
yeah.
one. That was the one he kept.
I don't know the name of the studio though.
And he also liked. Remember, he got the platinum. He also liked the Need for Speed.
He loves Need for Speed, even though he also
loves
hates
it.
Need for Speed. Brian has an interesting situation going on with those guys. All right, Manny, you got any?
Well, as far as what?
Yo, man, answer the question. I'm not repeating that shit. What out of all the genres, what studio do you think does that genre best?
Let's see. You already said Capcom and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I agree with all of those answers. I can't really add anything to it.
They like who does the best RPGs?
Oh, there we go.
That's a hard one now.
Man, by the way, if this was 20 years ago, it would have been
I
Square.
would have said Square, but
yeah, but nowadays,
I can't really say Square anymore, to be honest.
you know,
Well, and then also-
You're right, BioWare. You're right, BioWare.
No,
right?
not
Right,
BioWare.
right,
Not
right.
anymore.
Come on.
No,
They make the butter
anymore.
games. The butter
Not
games.
anymore.
By who?
BioWare, not anymore. If Rico was here, Falcom.
Falcom,
Yeah,
Well, and then,
I can't say it like who. You know what? Level 5. I'll say level
There you
5
go,
does
yeah.
the best RPGs.
Sure.
And then also they're also the Western RPGs. It's like,
Oh God. If Brett was here, he'd say Divinity, the whoever the hell makes those games.
yeah.
And they're also making what are they doing? The next Baldur's Gate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna move on because this, we're like squeezing like nothing out of this, but we got some good answers. Damn it. Okay, in the all digital future, which game companies do you still see making physical games? It's an interesting hypothetical question there. I think you're gonna
Nintendo.
see. I think you're gonna see physical copies coming out from every company, even if it's
Yeah.
diminished. No one's gonna stop. Because they're gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now. When most games become digital, those physical ones are gonna be they're gonna be big collector's items. People are gonna buy them.
I think that's all we're gonna. I think eventually it'll get to a point where the standards will all be digital, but if you want a physical, it's gonna be a collector's. It's not gonna be it's gonna be like 100 or more.
Mhm.
Because like, hey, you want the physical? We're printing this shit because no one does it on my does these anymore. It's gonna have a figure and it's gonna have this and that. It's gonna be a nice tin case and they're all gonna be.
I agree. I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Any what do you say about that?
Yeah, I think a lot of third-party guys are going to move away from trying to make physical media, and you're going to have to rely on other companies like Limit to press those for you, but they're going to sell them at a premium.
Yeah, limited run.
They already started. Yeah, so you're going to see more of that.
Yeah, I agree.
The last company to sell physical copies is going to be Nintendo, because in 2055, when they release the Switch 2 or the Switch U, it'll the fucking flash drive will only come with like 100 gigabytes. So you need physical copies to fucking put the games in.
Oh man. All right. Moving on here. Johnny W. Uppercut. This is an interesting one because we can't really answer this. But it's a good question. What happened to the Ubisoft program for indie developers called UbiArt? Yeah, what happened to UbiArt, man? They put out Valiant Hearts. They put out I haven't seen anything from them in years. Last thing I remember from them was Valiant Hearts. I'm like, Valiant Hearts and what's the name of that fucking RPG with the little girl?
Child of Light.
Child of Light. Those are like the only two games I'm gonna look this shit up now. Like, whatever happened to this studio? Like, because I thought they were gonna.
Valiant Heart was good. That was the sad one about World War One.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck happened to UbiArt? Because I remember they were making a big push for it and stuff.
Well, didn't EA also had one too?
Jesus Christ! Are you kidding me?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I just went to the Wikipedia page. The last game they made was 2015.
Yeah,
Damn.
they must have
Wow.
disbanded. Something must have happened.
They just let it die then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we figured out how to fill in the space of all these with all these other games.
Okay,
I don't know if they sold well. I know that they received high praise, but I don't know if they were big sellers.
I'm gonna read this from the wiki entry. In April 9th, with an interview with IGN, Yves Guillemot, the guy who runs Ubisoft, explained why the engine was not being used as initially planned, and explains that the tools were "quote unquote" tools were difficult to use. The plan was to distribute the engine to other studios, with Guillemot saying at some point we wanted to give them to everybody in Ubisoft. However, they decided not to, as they wanted to spend a lot of time with as they wanted to. Who wrote this fucking thing? Who spent a lot of time with a lot of people to actually help people. Fucking French ass. Fucking French.
It's probably just translator and dumped it.
Yeah.
And the translator's not that great.
Yeah, but the engine is not abandoned apparently for 4 fucking years. Seems abandoned to me. Okay, so I guess that's our answer. They just abandoned it.
They abandoned it.
The funny thing is that UbiArts, it's a weird one because it was connected to an engine too.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm translating it. So basically, they didn't want to spend time training people to use this thing because it would just take forever. Yeah, well,
they should have been smart and made it run like everything else on the fucking market instead of being a special flower and making it work on its own thing. Yeah. That's the whole thing. If you're gonna make a new engine, you're gonna have to make things that are familiar for people to be able to program for.
Yeah,
not just like make this. Isn't that UbiArts thing the same thing thing that they used to make Rayman?
Yes, it was. Matter of fact, most games under UbiArt were Rayman games.
So they made an engine that was only only the guys in Rayman can really use right.
Yeah. Well, man. All right, so there's your answer. All right, we all knew that wasn't going to be a happy ending. Okay, next question. Do you guys have any ideas on how the games industry can stop having these long game droughts for the next console generation? He's not going to like my answer.
They got to make cheap games. They just got to make them cheaper and quicker. Because that's the thing. It's like they put so much money into these big games. It takes years to develop.
Well,
so they just can't spit them out.
Adam, that's perfect jumping point for me. I was going to say you're going to get these long gaming droughts because, like Adam just said, these games take a long time. Unless you're willing to fill that void with indie games, this shit ain't gonna get better, bro.
Or ports, or like what they've been doing. Ports, just give it to another studio, smaller studio. Say, hey, port this shit over. We need to fill up this quarter.
Or the other thing where where they make where you make mid-tier games which don't take that as long.
Yeah, whatever happened to mid-tier games? Remember those? People don't
want to make those.
It's all either AAAs or indie games now. You know.
Well, it seems like Microsoft bought off all the studios that make those types of games.
Well, I mean, like there's a bunch of companies like Ubisoft are making those sorts of games. Not Ubisoft. Ubisoft did make that range of games. They don't do that anymore. THQ is gone, kind of. At least the old THQ, but the new THQ does make those sorts of games. Those mid-tier sort of games for just like $30 or $40, right?
Yeah,
so, a bunch of them. Yeah, they bring a bunch of them. Last one was $40. It's Saints Row.
But the fact is, you're not really going to stop these droughts exactly. You know.
Yeah, if you want AAA sort of quality, it's going to take time. Unless you make everything in Unreal Engine and make them all look exactly the same.
That's right.
I think for these later generations, it's they either like these big companies mostly make AAAs and mobile games. And that's the path that they're going in. So I don't really think that we're gonna get AA games by a lot of these companies like EA and Activision. So yeah, there will be droughts. Best believe that.
You better believe that. All right, Glorious, we got you, bro. But let me ask this next question. G Megaforce 123. So his first question is, what is one game you know you'll never beat, but you're okay with the fact that you'll never beat it?
Persona 5.
Oh, shit.
I just don't have the time. I know that as much as I want to go back, there's no way. I just don't have the time to do all that. So I just got to accept it. I had fun with the time I put in it. Maybe I'll play a little bit next time, but I'll never.
Carlos, you probably have a bunch of them, don't you?
Hey, man. Don't call me out like that.
Damn.
Final Fantasy 13.
Oh.
I never finished that one. What else? Yeah, there could be a lot. Because what's it called? I'm just trying to think of what game I don't regret not finishing, or what game that I didn't finish and I'm cool with it. Because a lot of the games that I didn't finish, I'm like, man, I wish I could beat those. But as far as I didn't beat, come back. Even though I answered, come back and I'll give you another one.
Yeah. All right, Chris, I'll go to you next.
I don't have one because
I got one.
There's a game I haven't finished. It's just because of time, but I can beat. Oh, what's yours, Carlos?
Dark Souls 3. I'm like, I don't know. I think I beat like half the bosses there, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. It's like, because it's not a narrative-driven game. It's like just go through each place and try to beat the boss in this area. And for me, it's like, okay, I beat a handful of bosses. I think I got enough. Like, I think for me, I got the experience that I wanted, and I don't really need anything else from this, to be honest.
My answer is interesting because, I've always been the guy that's like, if I play a game, I'm beating it, right? For the last, I'm going to say almost 2 years, I've gotten to the point where I just play the game up to the point where I need to finish the review, and I never touch it again. And I'm okay with that. Like one of the last ones is Dragon Quest Builders 2. It's a fun game. Even though it's not my genre, it is a fun game. I'm okay with not beating that. It's a bunch of shit I played this year that you can see all my reviews over at geek.com that I played maybe more half of it. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to.
Hey, man.
I don't need
So
to
you're not hard into, because I remember for one time you were hard struck that, hey, if you're gonna review it, you should read it.
Yeah, no. I used to be like that in the beginning when we were on Cool Stuff, Adam. But when I became like an actual, like actually doing this even as you feel, I'm like, you don't actually need to.
It's a waste of time too. If you know
is a waste of time.
You're like, yo, it's gonna suck for the next 3 hours. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Well,
and the thing is, like I said, even back in our blogging days, that's when I realized, like, oh shit. For every game I play, I'll need to play about 5 hours, and I could tell you everything about it. Go ahead, Carlos.
Well, at least you don't play the 30 minutes and think that's enough for a review.
No. You got to put for me, I need to put at least like I'm talking about ass minimum. Minimum. I need to put 15 hours into it. Minimum. Usually
in a long game.
Yeah.
Because
Usually it's like 30 minutes though. 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 hours.
Because it's funny because if you would have done that with Mass Effect would have probably gotten the greatest rating. Mass Effect 3 would have gotten the greatest rating out there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's that last hour of the game
that fucks it up. That's right.
Screwed it up for you, right?
Thankfully, and I do need to make this caveat. Thankfully, I don't, even though they do say review, I don't do formal reviews. So that kind of frees me up. If I was doing like actual full numbered reviews, then yeah, I'd fucking play that shit to completion, But since I'm kind of doing editorial type of things, I don't really feel that need. So I have like a mountain of games where I'm like, I played enough of it. I got my review out. I'm done. Don't need to touch it again, But that's me. What the fuck was the question again? Oh yeah, so anybody else?
Games that you
Manny, do you have any of these?
No, because I do any of the games that I do plan to play, and I do eventually play them.
What about Rogue Galaxy, man?
What was that?
Rogue Galaxy.
Ugh. Yeah, you know what? Rogue Galaxy, was the one that I stopped playing and never went back to, and that officially was the last RPG I'd ever played, like Japanese RPG I'd played. I've stopped playing them kind of in PlayStation 2 era. That's the part of my life when I started getting very busy with work.
You ain't got time for the big ass games,
No, man. I was in college, man. I was like, yeah, let's play this 50 million hour game. Then I started working.
Yeah, man, time, life, shit.
The craziest thing, man. I started when I started working professionally, working full time professionally. That was like 2004. Whenever Rogue Galaxy came out, I was working on the Ninja Turtles at that point in time.
Oh,
that's
wow.
like 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
I was working on there, and there was an ad for Rogue Galaxy on PS2, and they were just talking about PS3. Crazy.
All right. Next question. This one's a little bit controversial. All right. So, do games journalists need to disclose all the amenities / gifts / promotional items afforded to them by publishers in order to maintain their credibility?
Most do.
Most do. I was going to say that. Yeah.
Because that, from whatever little games that I have to do the reviews, at the end it says this was a coded. The code was given to me by the developers. I didn't buy it. Everyone should do that. Okay.
Yeah, I do need to add one thing to it, right? It basically, you need to understand that even if we don't get things for review, we still get a bunch of stuff. Every game journalist, gets stuff from companies, right? So that should be already be given. And I kind of don't see the point of like, hey, I got this sticker from Rockstar. It's like, what good does that do anybody? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't think, like, if you do get that stuff and is it under embargo, there's no harm in posting it either. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think if you, because like I got a bunch of shit back there that they're always sending me. It's like, do I need to disclose all that? Like, what good is that going to do you? You know, and does that lessen my credibility because I'm not posting this little plushie or whatever they send me? I don't think it does. You know, again, you just have to know that most game journals get free shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? And also, because we're living in 2019 now, a lot of your favorite influencers get a bunch of free shit too. Do they need to disclose all that stuff? I don't think they do either. You know, unless they're reviewing it, obviously.
Yeah, unless they're reviewing it or unless they're sponsored by it.
Yeah.
Because there was also a big problem where YouTubers were getting a little bit of a stipend from some of these game companies.
Yeah,
and
that you need to disclose. If you're just getting free shit just for
Yeah.
just for the hell of it, if you're just getting free shit just for the hell of it, because most of the shit like the free stuff I get is free. I don't need to. It's not like, hey, give us a good review. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're getting it and you're getting paid for it, you need to disclose that shit. You know, for sure. All right. Any other thoughts on this, Chris? Carlos?
I'm assuming he's talking about like something similar to what happened with Ninja and Apex.
Well, he's talking about like promotions and gifts and shit like that. You know,
but I mean, he was straight up paid.
Those are paid. Yeah, those are.
But that was disclosed, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
if money is exchanged, you need to disclose that shit. You know.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. And Chris, any thoughts on this?
I mean, I agree to to a point. Like, so people know you're coming from, because like nobody wants to find out that, oh, you had a deal with this company or you did this, like, and then you lose trust. You do lose credibility if you take your money. Like, that started happening to people. I think EA was going to YouTubers and secretly giving them like money and contracts and stuff, and then you find out that it's like, well, I can't trust what you say, because you're just going to say Madden, FIFA, and whatever is the best thing since sliced bread, whatever EA does. I think that helps, the credibility.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, if money exchanges hands, you have to. There's not even a question there.
Remember many years ago that dude from GameSpot? It was, what was it, Assassin's Creed or Hitman? What was one of those that he gave it a poor review and then he got like,
Jeff
Gerstmann.
They did a workaround.
It was Kane Lynch.
Kane Lynch.
Yeah, it was Kane Lynch, because they had given a lot of money for advertising, on the website. So in a way, they did take money from it. And then they gave him a poor review, and they're like, hey, we gave you all this money because we wanted to advertise on your site, and you give us a bad review, and poof, that guy was let go.
Well, I mean, it's always the thing is that there's always that sort of weird conflict of interest sort of thing, where it's like, okay, your company, your site is being sponsored by so and so. Does that give them does that also give them the right to also have control over what reviews that you give, and that's a little bit of a weird.
I think
because they shouldn't be doing that. Even if they're sponsoring your website, they shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, that's
what politicians all the time. They take money for certain events, and then it's like, oh yeah, the other way.
Yeah, that's why people don't trust those motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's a lot of the same. That's why it always throws me off when like big sites like IGN, this month it's all focused on so and so game, and we're gonna get exclusive. I'm like, yeah, but you haven't even seen the final product. What if it's booty? Are you really gonna give it a shit rating now?
That's
you just
right.
took their money for a month doing exclusive interviews, behind the scenes footage, blah 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 blah. And then what if whoever gets assigned to review it says, yo, this is the worst game to come out this year? What do you do?
Well, the thing is that if you notice that, like, places like, certain sites don't do overly heavy, harsh reviews nowadays.
That's right. Yeah.
If you notice, like, if you see an IGN thing and it's like, hey, they got a pretty good review, but if you actually read the review, it's actually could be scathing almost.
That's right.
The worst review I've seen in recent years is the Switch version of WWE 2K18. Where it was just IGN said it was awful, and that no one should get it. I was like, all right, well, they said it, but that was done by a third party studio that makes it 2K. Because even now, I think they're working on a promotion with, 2K for the next WWE 19. They get wrestlers to come on and do interviews. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
Yeah, they're always going to make those sorts of deals to kind of get those sort of things. But I mean, I think also there has to be an understanding that just because they have, they invited The Rock on the show doesn't mean that they're going to get a good review on their game.
Rocky. A long time, man.
Rocky Maivia, man. All right, moving on here. Tennessee Sooner. What games have you grinded on the hardest? Games nowadays are all grind fest, but I'm sure there's something older that caught you guys before. So what games did you like heavily grind on back in the day?
He said hardcore grind on it something?
Yeah, like what game did you grind on the most?
This is actually a recent one. I'll go ahead.
I was gonna say Demon Souls, because to get the platinum, you have to get every material and every weapon. That took me a while.
Yeah. For me, circling back around, Final Fantasy 13. That's the game that broke me, man, as far as platinums go. Because back in those days, I would get the platinum for every fucking game, even if I didn't like the game. Like Prototype, I didn't like that game, but I got the platinum for it, right? So Final Fantasy 13, I had every trophy except for one. I needed to have every weapon in the game, right? In order to make the last weapon I needed to grind for this one material that had a 1% drop rate after I put in the ability to increase the drop rate. So it was actually worse than 1%, right? I grinded on this fucking thing for 2 weeks for like 8 hours a day trying to get enough of this shit, right? And I remember at that point, because remember those GTA 4 expansions that came out? They came out on Xbox first, right? And they finally came to PlayStation, right? I had been waiting for that shit for a fucking year, right? So there I am grinding on this fucking game, and I couldn't stop because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I want to play GTA. I'm crying internally, son. I'm like, I want to play GTA, but I can't because I'm fucking grinding on this fucking game. You know?
And I was saying, and at the time, I'm saying, dude, why are you even giving a shit?
I was saying that to myself, but I'm like, I need to do this, man. That game fucking broke me. So after I'm like, Tony, get the platinum if you can. If you don't worry about it, because this is some fucking bullshit. You know,
it's funny that you had learned that lesson, because that's the way I've always treated platinums. If I can do it, I'll do it. If I can't,
what do you mean? I learned that lesson. That was literally like platinums weren't even around for a year at that point. What are you talking about? You know,
that's the same thing I always thought of platinums, though. I mean, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. But you're like, you're a platinum fiend. You're like,
I had to, yeah. During that first year of platinums, I went crazy. You know,
you were all Emerald Twilight on that shit. You were like, you had to have all the rings.
Man, I'm gonna say something shameful right now. I love Valkyria Chronicles, the first one, to death. I almost did not buy that game because they didn't have platinums in the beginning. I was like, why am I wasting my time with this shit? But I was like, Tony, it looks cool, buy it. Love that game, but I almost didn't buy it. That's how bad I was with platinums, you know. Man, but Final Fantasy, that shit broke me. That was not a good grind. That was brutal. You know, but there were other grinds, like going back to GTA 4. We grinded on that fucking trophy off Vidersen Petrovich for a fucking month. Difference was that was enjoyable. You know, we grinded the fuck out of that just to get to level 50 and shit. That was crazy.
I would say that one of the grinds that I had, I can't exactly remember how long the grind was, but getting the ultimate weapons in Final Fantasy X.
Well, I opted out of
that shit was annoying, because first one is that you got to dodge the stupid lightning in the lightning level. You had to dodge it like 100 times or more in order to get the ingredient that you do it, or you had to do that stupid butterfly thing in the forest, or you had
the balloons. Remember that shit?
Yeah, the balloons, or the chocobo race where you had to get a certain thing.
Forget it. Fuck out of here, man.
I remember playing those a lot.
Yeah. Here's a recent grinding, circling back around to Breath of the Wild. I remember grinding for these fucking fire lizards so I could make a fire coat. I spent like 2 days on that shit. And that was to advance the game. It wasn't like, oh, I want to wear it. It's like, I need to advance this game. I can't go in there without this fucking fire coat. I need to grind on these stupid-ass lizards. Oh, my God.
Or you could eat chili peppers or something like that, as I remember.
I don't know.
No, that's for ice.
That's for ice, yeah.
No, this is for hot place.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the volcano place. Carlos.
Nah, man, I remember one of the things. This isn't off topic, but like off what you just said. I remember I was playing Breath of the Wild, and I got to the fucking snow level or ice level, whatever it
Yeah.
is. I ate a fucking chili pepper. He started fucking burning up and shit, and I was walking through the ice, and his health was still going down, man. I got fucking pissed.
Fuck that shit. Yeah, you had to make the
Yeah.
coat for that. I'm like, I remember I had to grind for that fucking shit too. You know, like, yo, let me just buy the code. I don't want to make it.
But yeah, for me, there's a lot of games. One of them that comes to mind is WoW. It's like, it's just fucking a lot. Like, Brett always complains about this, and it's a lot. It makes a lot of sense. It's like, it's a lot of fucking quests. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of quests. It's just, okay, I'm going here. I'm going to this dude talking. He has a fucking exclamation mark on top of him. He wants me to kill these fucking bears over here. Okay, go bears, retrieve the fucking reward. He has another quest. Go and kill the fucking 5 deers or the 10 deers over here. Kill the 10 deers. So it's just a constant grind just doing that. And then sometimes, like, if you decide to like do a profession, like, I don't know, crafting and stuff like that, you have to grind even more for your craft, not only to raise up your level, but for your fucking craft and stuff. So it's like, it's just so many things that you have to do to keep up, to progress into that game. And if you want to do raids, instances and stuff like that, you have to grind to do that. And it's like, it just adds up, man.
I got another one.
Uh-oh.
Yo, man.
And okay, I know he wanted older games, but no, man, I gotta throw this one under the bus. I'll got you next, man. Destiny, this fucking game. I remember I was on that fucking game for like 3 fucking weeks, grinding to get this one assault rifle. You know what made me give up? When every motherfucker that I played with got that assault rifle just off the cuff, and I was still trying to grind for it. I'm like, fuck this shit. Fuck this game. I was done. I never played that shit again. The first Destiny. That was some bullshit, you know? Like, I just wanted the fucking rifle. Everybody gets the rifle. Like, Brett's got like 3 of them. Hey, I got the rifle. Fuck you.
It's because he wasn't using that fucking rifle.
Yeah.
Because that stupid game, just like a lot of games, has a dumb algorithm inside of it that says, "Oh, hey, you use assault rifles. We're just going to give you everything else."
Yeah, like I had everything else that was like, it was everything else I was getting was really cool. Yeah, it's nice. I don't use that shit. I don't use handguns. You know, I want a fucking assault rifle. You know, so that was some bullshit. Anyway, Adam, what's the other one?
Mine is Wasteland.
Oh God, yeah, that was all chronicled live on Throwdown.
Wildlands. Just trying to get all the resources, trying to steal all the food and the medical supplies and like electronics, just to get enough to unlock the perks. That pain in the ass. You gotta get the trucks and you gotta go fight, and hopefully they don't get damaged. If they do, then you don't get all the resources from them, and then you have to wait for that to respawn or go to the area. That grind. But I did it.
Yeah, you got the plat too, man.
Yeah, I got the plat. Actually, I was thinking about it the other day. My last plat was Spider-Man. That was the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, my oh yeah, I did have to grind for that. For Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But the thing is, like, it was easier for me to get the platinum in that than to actually 100% the game. So I was like, let me just do the thing that's going to be faster, you know? All right, next question. This one's funny. What's your funniest intoxicated gaming moment? So this is when you were drunk off your ass and you were playing a game. Do you have any funny stories? I'm going to just say, my answer. If I have any, I don't remember. I don't know. I don't play games when I'm drunk because I don't have the concentration for it. Like, my mind, like, I know, when you talk to me, I sound fine, but my brain is fucking scattered. I can't concentrate. So I do not play games when I'm drunk because I kind of can't, Adam, do you have any drunken gaming stories?
The only one I could think of is me and my buddy James. Many years, maybe 2004. We were drinking and playing Burnout Paradise. And that was because the shit was just so fast and they're flying. We just kept crashing, and we were like, are we crashing because we're drunk, or are we crashing because this game is too damn? We couldn't figure it out, but we were trying to see if we could just go in a straight line, like, down the road without bumping in, and we just couldn't do it. It seemed like the game was impossible. I just remember us arguing about how impossible this game.
By the way, I just remembered a drunk story. This was years ago too. Like, it was during Christmas time. Me and like it was on PS4. We were in a PS4 chat room. It was me and a bunch of other guys, right? And we were playing GTA 5, drunk off our asses. Again, I couldn't play straight. Everybody's fucking up. And there was this one dude, this one Puerto Rican guy, right? He just kept saying the same shit over and over again. He was like, "Yo, you smell like a fucking," and just add shit to it. But the thing is, like, at first the shit made sense. Like, "Yo, you smell like a fucking wet dog's ass." Like, the shit that made sense, right? Then later he'd be like, "Yo, you smell like a fucking camera." And we're like, "What the fuck?" And he just kept going and going and going. It's like that was a pretty funny night. But yeah, there was no real concrete gaming going on. We were just fucking around, But yeah, that one guy, he just kept going. As a matter of fact, he was Paranormal Gamer's friend that me and Manny met in fucking LA, like during our first E3, But, like, "Yo, you smell like a fucking light bulb." It's like, what? That shit don't even make sense, bro. Oh man. All right.
I've never actually had. I guess I think I might be allergic to liquor because I get really bad stomach aches from it. Most liquors. So I've never really gamed while being drunk.
No, you're not alone. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's allergic or it messes your stomach up really bad.
Yeah, I have a really bad reaction to it every single time. Most liquor, I drink it and I just get really bad stomach aches.
What about beer?
Beer does it. There's only one, and that's rice wine. Sake doesn't do it.
Yeah, well, that's just clean. Yeah, that's not gonna do it. You'd probably be okay with vodka too. That's pretty clean. But it's just fucking alcohol. You're drinking like the rubbing alcohol, basically. Yeah, I mean, alcohol fucks with my stomach up. But actually, it's not alcohol fucks with my stomach. It's the beer, whatever the shit is in it. But it's not as bad as it used to be. Ever since I started eating better, I don't have the same stomach issues I've had. I don't even remember last time I had diarrhea. Like, I used to suffer that shit all the time, but now I can drink. That shit is fine, I just can't sleep well at night if I'm too fucking drunk, Depending on what I'm drinking. Yeah, depending on what I'm drinking, though. If I'm drinking wine or champagne like the other night, I'm done.
Well, actually,
good,
actually, for me, this is not even gaming shit. It's just drunk stories.
Yeah, man. But, like, the drunk cast. Let's go.
The drunk cast, man.
I got stories for days, man. Anyway, go ahead.
So when I go out to drink, I usually can't sleep.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Like I'm drunk as fuck, and I kind of sober up a little bit, and then I just go to bed. But I can't fall asleep for my life. It takes fucking hours.
Okay, for me it's different. I can fall asleep really fast when I'm drunk. I just can't stay asleep. 4 hours, I'll wake up and I'm like in a cold sweat and shit. I guess my body's ejecting all that stuff, and I'm just fucked up.
When then, like, that's another thing. When I do fall asleep, I wake up like probably like 6 or like it depends on when I go to sleep. Let's say I go to sleep like 4 or 5 in the morning. I'll wake up like at 7 or 8, and then my stomach will start fucking hurting because the fucking alcohol, I don't know, fucks with me.
Yeah.
But when when I went to New York and we went to go drink with me, Tony, and Manny, none of those side effects happened. I went to sleep.
But you did have food.
Well, no, that's Carlos. That's the thing, because those same side effects did not happen to me. I slept good that fucking night, and we drank like 8 beers. We went ham,
Those weren't even like those little cans, man. They were fucking tall glasses.
Yeah, we drank a lot, and some of them were like pretty strong. We're like, "Yo, what the fuck are we drinking right now, son?"
We had an IPA. We had that one drink that I don't know what the hell it was. It tasted like wine and shit.
Yeah, but yo, we went crazy that night, bro. But we had Shake Shack the night before that, and I believe we had something to eat at the bar too, didn't we? Because I remember eating. I think.
Other than one of Manny's fries.
Okay.
That's all I had. But I did. You had Subway on your way back, and I had McDonald's on my way back.
Hey, these things happen, man. Yeah, that was a good fucking night, man. You got to come back to New York.
Yeah, man. When Brian and Adam and Chris go.
Yeah, right. With the whole Throwdown crew, we'll do a podcast out in fucking
we got to do. Yeah. We still have to do one of those. Where, in other words, we get the real everybody live in the same room.
Yeah, right. We'll do it by the Flatiron building and shit.
Either that or
we do it the professional way, man. We rent a fucking studio.
Oh,
That's
there you go.
order.
Yeah.
Or either that or we fucking ask Brett to borrow his house.
You know?
Kansas.
We all got to go to Kansas. Though.
I guess that's the middle. That's the middle point. So that actually would be fair to everybody, except for Brian. He had to come further, you know.
Brian's
but for the
like,
rest of us,
"Fuck
it's
y'all."
like, yeah, we just converge into this area. All right, so moving on. Actually, Chris? Do you have any drunk stories?
Not really. Like playing a game.
Yeah.
I can't think of any. I don't really tipsy drunk, so I don't have anything where I like embarrass myself. I don't really play games after I drink either.
Yeah, I don't either. You know, I just want to chill. You know, games require work. All right. Next. All right. He changed his name, but I can't say this one on air. Epstein's Pleasure Island.
Oh shit!
Oh god.
Yeah, what happens to that island? I think they're trying to see if they could sell it off. Because the dude owned his own island.
Man, that's crazy. All right, so his first question is, has there been any games that you had to restart due to it being too easy or too difficult, therefore adjusting the difficulty on the second run? Interesting question.
Not really for me.
Is there
Yeah. I kind of just play them on normal. I don't really like. There's never been a case where I'm like, man, this shit's too hard. I'm gonna change it, or this shit's too easy. I'm gonna change. I never really had that, you know.
Sometimes, I mean, to be honest, I mean, you have played the certain games for the
Platinums, yeah.
platinum. Like you played the hard mode.
Yeah, but like I'm talking about just like out of my own choice, because I'm being honest right now, people. I didn't start playing games in hard mode until trophies were a thing. Then I'm like, okay, I guess I got to beat it in hard mode now, because I never saw the point. I'm like, what the hell's the point of doing that? You know?
I used to play hard mode for the reasoning,
For
because
the endings, sometimes you get
sometimes for the endings, and also the other one was like, especially for games like God of War, where they actually put all this really cool extra content in the thing that you could earn if you beat the other difficulties.
Yeah. No, you're right about those.
Like
Those
God
are
of War
reasons.
1.
Yeah.
God of War 1 has a lot of stuff in it.
By the way, thank you for giving me your save on that one.
Yes.
You know, but I eventually did beat God of War on hard mode when it came to PlayStation 3, you know?
Mhm.
So I still did it legitimately, motherfuckers.
I did it.
Yeah, I did it. I done did it. All right, so
Yeah,
go ahead.
You get that fun number that you get to call on that one.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't
the
remember.
old
Yeah. Anybody else? Has anybody in here changed the difficulty midway through the game or during the second playthrough just for the fuck of it because it was too hard or too easy?
Yeah. Well, Wolfenstein. That Wolfenstein kicked my fucking ass. Not the newest version, the one before that.
Oh, 2?
Yeah, let's go with 2. Yeah, that was such a pain in the ass. I forgot what part I was at, but I'm like, yo, I just can't, and I had to dumb it down. I was like, I can't.
I don't remember. Oh, go ahead.
It was just nonstop. It was like you're fighting one big robot, you go in another room, another big robot. There was no health, and then you're constantly hiding. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, I can't think of a specific example, but I know for a fact that I've switched the difficulty in between games because I couldn't, like, I got stuck on a part, and I'm like, yo, man, this is just too fucking hard, man. I'm just gonna dumb it down real quick just to beat this. But yeah, I can't think of an example, but yeah, I've definitely done that.
Yeah, I've done it too. I just can't remember. You know, we're like, I just don't. But for me, it's more like I don't want to deal with this shit. I just want to get through the story. You know.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, like make the game harder. No, I mean I've always like again, it's always been like, the normal difficulty's always been pretty fine.
The only game,
though, Chris, I would say for you was like Devil May Cry 3, man. Like, did you ever adjust the difficulty on that game? 'Cause
No.
I remember normal mode.
No, I played it on normal, and it was like fucking impossible. It's like shit, man. I was dying left and right. I mean, I got through it, but that shit because they had the difficulty scaled wrong for the US version. Like normal was hard mode.
Hard games.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Again, I'm pretty sure I can name something else, but it's just not coming to me right now. Where are we? Okay, what game franchises would you like to see made into a badass detailed pinball machine? Very interesting question.
Pinball, huh?
How about a God of War pinball machine? There you go.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll go with Metal Gear Solid. Why not?
There you go. That'd be awesome. Adam, what about you? Mr. Vale.
I'm thinking. I
All
don't
right,
know.
I'll come back to you. Chris.
Yeah,
I want a Doom pinball game.
Ooh, that's a good
but
one.
they did it. They did that. If you-
They did it
Yeah,
Really?
I have the Zen
for
pinball ones.
the new one. Oh no, the new one. The new
Yeah,
game.
the new one. They did the new one. That they did
Oh,
Fallout. I have that whole set.
There you go. Who said dreams don't come true?
Yeah, there you go. Chris
There-
buy a whole lot of them now, man.
Yeah, that came in the set. It was Fallout, Doom,
Excuse me?
and there was another one that's in there. There was 3 of them.
Crazy.
But, shit.
All right, Carlos.
I'd like a Sonic the Hedgehog pinball machine. I don't know if they've done this Sonic the Hedgehog pinball machine. That one level in Sonic 1, I think it's the second level, second or third level, where it's sort of like a casino atmosphere.
Well,
And it's kind of like a.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say Sonic 2 has a legit casino level. You know.
Is it Sonic 2 or is it? I confuse them sometimes.
Yeah, it's Sonic 2. You're thinking about.
It's like a casino level, and
Yep.
you're pretty much fucking Sonic's pretty much a pinball.
Yeah.
That is fucking
Or
sick,
Sonic
man.
Spinball.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's get meta. Make a pinball game of Sonic Spinball. You know. That'd be crazy. All right, Adam, you good now, man?
Ghostbusters. They had the old one. but it wasn't
Ghostbusters the
good.
game.
Make it-
Interesting.
Yeah, Ghostbusters make a good one. Maybe when you pull it and you just see like some shooting going on or something, and then ghosts flying around and stuff.
Interesting. All right. Where are we? Oh man, Johnny the Truth Teller, people.
What's up, Johnny? How's it going?
This you okay? Because I've always questioned whether this guy was a troll or not. This tells me this guy's a troll. So we're gonna have fun. I'm trying to keep a straight face here. You guys in the chat are gonna love this question.
Uh-oh.
Has Phil Spencer always been a genius?
Has he always been a genius?
Yeah, let me. Here's the second part. Would you agree with me that he is the best executive in gaming history?
You know who I would say was one of the best executives? I wouldn't say it was Phil. I would actually say it was the guy who was part of who originally started the Xbox division. What's his face from EA?
Seamus?
No, he was
Harrison?
Peter Moore?
Peter Moore.
Peter Moore.
Oh, okay.
I would say Peter Moore was the guy. Because he was the one who was responsible for making the Dreamcast the success it was in the United States. He stepped over on the Xbox and he pushed that shit all over the place. He was probably the one, part of the ones that got all the the different got Halo together and a bunch of the other stuff. So I say it's him.
Yeah, well, he's not asking who was the best. He's saying is Phil the best?
I wouldn't. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't say he was a genius.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
no. Let's just be real. What has Phil done?
Phil kind of fell into got pushed into a position that some other guy left open for him. So he wasn't there. He didn't come in there. And I'm going to say this: out of all the stuff that Phil has done, what has he really done? He hasn't. He wasn't head of the Xbox division when it was making real money. You know who was head of that? That was the guy before.
Yeah, Don Matrick.
It's Mr. Don Matrick.
Yeah.
Say what you will about that guy. He was kind of in control when they were really making some serious cash.
Yeah, they were. I mean, that's actually, ironically enough, some Xbox guys, I'm talking about the hardcore guys, right? They want Don Matrick back because they associate him with the success of Xbox.
But also the thing is,
I'm not making this up.
But also the other thing about Don Matrick is that he was a person who inherited something from a previous generation of guys. So there was a guy there who already set all that stuff in motion. So can you really say that Don Matrick was responsible for it, or he was just repeating what the last guy was doing?
Yeah, yeah, but yeah,
I want to see when it comes to Phil. And I think this portion of the way he's doing Xbox now is him trying to carve out his own Xbox as opposed to doing what the previous guys were doing. And hopefully, I want to see them do something cool and different, and or whatever.
Yeah,
So-
because you could say like Phil's legacy is pretty much going to be turning Xbox from a gaming console to a gaming platform, right? We're seeing, we're even here talks about how they're not against, having it on PlayStation and stuff. That's how crazy things are getting now. That's not confirmed, by the way, but they're saying they want this, Xbox on every platform possible. They're not against some of these things anymore. So I'm guessing that's going to be Phil Spencer's greatest legacy. It's pretty much like taking the Xbox brand and just going, you know what? We're never going to be at the top of the food chain again in as far as consoles goes. We're always going to get beaten by Sony and Nintendo. So fuck it, let's do something else. We're going to do a service thing. And if it works the way as intended, it's going to probably do pretty well for them. Because it's just going to be available on so many devices, because I'm trying to be fair here to Mr. Phil Spencer. But I wouldn't say he's a genius. He's kind of seeing where things are kind of going, as far as subscriptions and all that stuff goes. And he's just taking Xbox in that direction. But I wouldn't call him a genius or the greatest executive of all time for that. He's just doing what he feels is smart for his company. And I would say a smart move for his company because, again, Xbox ain't going to be competing on a level again. I'm going to say something even more controversial right now, people. But I've said this before. The Xbox 360 was a fluke. The natural state of things is Sony being the number one console, right? It's been that way ever since the PlayStation 1, right? PlayStation 1. PlayStation. Well, let me finish.
The 360 had all kinds of fucked up issues.
No,
It
yeah,
still
but
won.
it didn't win in the end. The PlayStation 3 did.
No, they won.
No, they didn't.
You can't go off of, if you go based off of actual people that play, not the numbers. If you say
I'm going off the console sales, man.
If you go based off of what people play,
We always go. We can't just.
If you tell, but if you tell people, it's just like with any game. If you tell someone, "Oh, what's the best game?" Well, the best one is the one that sold the most. No, my favorite is number 2. It's always going to be that. And I'm saying right now, if you tell anybody from last gen, they'll always say 361.
Yeah, but they're wrong because 360 didn't win. It didn't win. The PlayStation sold more.
We're not talking about opinions.
Yeah, we're not talking about opinions. We're talking about facts.
We're not talking about opinions. We're talking about facts.
Yeah, we're talking about pure facts.
There's still facts. Facts is people prefer 360 over PS3.
No, they don't. If they did, why did PlayStation 3 sell more?
Because Xbox already moved on to Xbox One.
No, it's more like Xbox couldn't hold out on that lead.
Exactly.
They had an early start, but then they couldn't hold on to that early start.
Yeah, and let's just be honest. If PlayStation 3 wasn't, priced at $600 in the beginning, that would have outsold the 360 real fucking fast. But PlayStation had all those issues and stuff. I'm glad you bring up Red Ring. Red Ring sold a lot of Xboxes because motherfuckers just kept buying them.
But that's what I'm saying. That shouldn't have happened. Under your logic, that shouldn't have happened. That should have.
It shouldn't have happened. Well, the thing is, if Sony got their shit right, it wouldn't have happened. People were like, I need a next gen system. PlayStation's fucking up right now. I'm just gonna buy another Xbox. So that's what happened there. People were stuck with 360.
You know what I think it was? I'll tell you what it is. You're dodging it, yet you're not dodging nothing. You know what it is? You said it before. Why did you play a lot of games? Trophies. 360 brought Chivo. People got.
Yeah, they did. Oh yeah, no, that was a big thing in the beginning. But as the generation went on, when PlayStation got their shit together, they lost that lead real fucking fast. They lost that shit real quick.
Yeah, because Sony was the second one down the line, and they knew they had a lot to prove. Xbox was sitting on the top, being like, "All right, we got it all, so it's all good." But then the tide started to change, where Sony started to put out a bunch of really great exclusives. They started putting out all this other different stuff. And that's how they did it.
Even at the beginning of the generation, people wanted a PlayStation over an Xbox, but PlayStation was fucking up. So I'll just get an Xbox instead because it was cheaper.
It was a combination of things. It was also, remember, they had
and
went down. All that info got leaked, and it had a lot of fucked up shit happen.
Listen. I just want to do a little correction. The Wii was a top.
It was, yeah. It was. That was a fluke too, though. Let's just be real. Well,
I think the thing about it was for the Wii. It was the new thing, and then also, let's be honest, artificial scarcity does a lot to sell consoles. Just saying.
Adam, we got a question for you.
But anyway, I was going to say the last thing on the Xbox is they couldn't hold on to that sort of lead, and I feel like, and I was hoping, at least for this generation, the Xbox One, they would they would be able to do what Sony did, essentially being the second dog out and be able to pull out a win toward the end. We're getting to the end, and the Xbox sales are even lower than they've ever been, which is it's horrible. Like, they shouldn't be that way.
They fucked up. Adam, here's a question for you from Glorious War. Adam, how did Sony catch up with such a big cluster fuck up, yet Xbox can't catch up this generation?
What do you mean?
Okay, basically he's saying how did Sony catch up with the PS3, which was a horrible fuck up in the beginning? How were they able to catch up with the last generation, but Xbox couldn't catch up this generation?
Because Xbox started focusing on other things. They started focusing on the future, which was horrible. They kept focusing on Xbox One and all the shit they wanted to do with that. Meanwhile, we had a lot of good titles for PS3 drop toward the end of its cycle, like The Last and other big titles that were exclusive. And then the system was always on sale. When I picked up my PS3, it was like under $200 with a bunch of games. So I'm like, shit, it's a no-brainer at that point. But at the same time, everybody knew Xbox One was coming. Sucked that it bombed the way it did. You know, it had all these issues, but that's really what happened.
Yeah, even you. I mean, think about it. You, Chris, and Carlos were all 360 guys last generation. You guys jumped ship.
Also gotta admit, whenever a multi-platform game was being reviewed by any of the sites, they always said it ran. Yeah, it always ran. That's what I'm saying. So when people, the casual who doesn't really think about much, go to see it and it's like, oh, which one's running better? Well, all these reviews keep saying that other system, so I guess that must be the best system.
But also remember, that was, and no one's denying, because that was true for the first half of that generation. That was very true. The 360 games ran way better. At the end of it, it didn't matter anymore. They all ran equally. You know, as a matter of fact, I remember some studios that said, okay, because it's harder to develop on PS3, that's going to be our lead system now. You know, just because it was such a tough system to work with. The cell processor, mighty nerd. You know. Anyway, I think we've proved Johnny the Truth Teller is a fucking troll. Like, come on, Phil Spencer, a genius, really, bro? Come on, son.
But
He's a genius.
For me, I think the reason why 360 sold the way it did wasn't that it was a fluke run. It was Chivos. People got hooked in Chivos. It meant something to beat a game. So then when that shit blew up, they're like, do I leave it and move on? But fuck all my Chivos, man.
Well, you left.
No.
You know.
I left. I already hit over the max at the point. There was nothing else to achieve. I was like, Joe, I'm over 100,000 and I got nothing for it. So fuck it. What's the point? Same thing with my trophies right now. I feel like I'm not getting anything out of it. So that urge, that desire to get the platinum is gone.
Interesting. You don't even have, how many platinums you have?
I don't even care.
Yeah, because I
have like 20 something. Like, it just didn't. When they first started announcing that they were going to start giving stuff, I remember it was like, you're going to get discounts and this and that. I'm like, okay, there's motivation there. So motivation. The same thing when the Xbox started doing it. I was like, oh, once you hit a certain point, then we're going to give you the money and like in-game stuff that you could go buy stuff, you know. And they did it for a little while, and then they stopped. And then it's like, all right, so what am I doing? What's the point of this? It grows and it's just for myself, but it's not doing anything. It's not helping me out in a way.
So
especially when I'm playing games that I didn't like.
It's interesting because remember you and I were complaining about how the Switch doesn't have any Chivos now. I guess it doesn't matter to you anymore.
Nah, it doesn't even.
Whoa!
And that's why I play it. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter because of that.
Wow!
It doesn't matter, and that's why I play most of my games. I actually play on.
Interesting.
Yeah, for me, it's like I the only reason I want achievements / trophies on the Switch is just so I can have it recorded that I beat it.
That's
what
I want a record of this shit, you know.
You know how to do that? Do it like the old days. Hook up a VCR to your
VCR.
No, just record that shit.
We got Elgatos, man. What the fuck?
You got to do it the old school way.
No.
What? VCR up.
No, there's an easy way. Just take a screenshot of the shit and send it.
That's what I did with Nintendo games. You know, it's like take a screenshot.
And people keep forgetting that you can record like 30 seconds. So you can record the ending and then just send it.
But then you'd be spoiling it.
You could spoil it, but hey, it's proof that you did it. If you send it to somebody who already beat it and thinks you're
all right, but it's not that serious, man.
Exactly. It's not that serious. And that's the shit. It's like, if I can get it, I'll go for it, but I'm not hunting for it. Like, even with the Division 2, like, I could go and keep playing, but that game pissed me the fuck off. It doesn't make me happy. I told them in my whole little, survey section, it doesn't make me
So we don't believe you, Adam. Like, wait, you know my name?
Can I guess which game's gonna be next? Adam,
That's what?
The Smitten game.
what the next Division 2 for you is gonna be?
Well, the DLC that they're going back to New York, that might be something for me.
No. I'm saying, you love the Division. You it's your game of the generation. You fucking swear
Yes,
by
the
it
first
and
one,
everything.
The first one, yep.
And the Division 2 was a letdown.
It was.
Division
And I know-
2 1 remastered. That's what's gonna be your game.
Oh
And-
God.
On
I know.
Switch.
Gears 5 is gonna be the Division 2.
There you go.
I think
Gears 5 could do no wrong, and I'll tell you why. because
I think it's gonna
Gears-
disappoint you, man.
Gears to me is like Mario to a lot of people. Like it brings back nothing but fond memories. Gears. It's such a fun pickup and play.
Yo, did you feel that when you played 4?
Huh? 4? Yeah, I felt it when I played 4.
Oh, did you feel that when you played the Gears 5 tech test?
I didn't need to. 'Cause I
Oh,
already
you didn't
know.
play
I
it?
didn't need
Oh!
to. You make it seem like I have to. I don't need the
Yo,
test.
man,
You a fake
Yo, man,
fan. You a fake
Yo,
fan,
man,
man.
I
Yo,
know
man,
exactly.
if you're gonna be drinking that Kool-Aid, you gotta drink all the
You gotta
Kool-Aid.
drink it, man.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
fake the
yeah.
funk.
Sipping
This the
that shit.
throwdown, man. We don't fake the funk
That's
around
the thing.
here.
I don't need to test the Kool-Aid. I know it's gonna taste great. Why test it? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, taste test if you're gonna like it. Just send me the crate. I'm gonna drink it. I'm good.
Just send me the Kool-Aid man jumping busting through that wall, man.
That's
I don't need the packets.
Yo, Adam's
I'm
like
telling
he
you,
just sniffs the air like I smell that
Yo.
shit.
That's it. You know, Rich was telling me, he's like, oh, from the coalition, he was like, yeah, the other coalition singing about, wanting to do something with us with the game. I sent him a picture of my tattoo. I'm like, yo, I'm all in. They're like, you're right. They sent me a thumbs up. We are good. We're bros. I'm telling you, that game.
That was a different team. They don't know about you.
So we're good.
The new team don't know about you.
No, that's why I had to send them the picture.
Yo,
Yeah,
I can't wait for
I saw if Cliffy has a friend on Xbox.
Is he? You see?
He
yeah,
never jumps off. He never
record this conversation on your VCR and play it back before the year's
I
over.
can't wait until Gears 5 comes out and Adam's disappointed like a
Yeah.
motherfucker.
I can't.
Yeah,
The
man.
only way they could disappoint me is if they remove the damn chainsaw gun and Roadie Run. If they take Roadie Run out and the chainsaw, then you know what? It's a legend. But that's it. That's all I need. I like the big bulky characters. I like running around and shooting shit and seeing the blood splat on the screen. I love it.
What if it's in Washington D.C. instead of New York?
Oh shit.
It's not even in New York.
Wait, it's not even on Earth.
It's not even on Earth. It's not even on Earth.
I got the joke, Carlos. I got the joke.
No,
Appreciate it, man.
no. The DC thing was whack. They should have did that shit in like I don't know, Europe somewhere.
You would have accepted Europe over not New York.
Over your home,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Make it
Over New York,
London. Yeah, make it London.
Anyway,
That could have worked.
yeah, let's move
I
on.
mean,
man.
for
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
the
go
next
ahead.
big thing. I wait. I'm looking at the dates. I think it's Call of Duty. The new
Call of Duty.
I
Those
know.
are-
I know what the next big thing is. Contra Road Corps. That's in the.
Yeah, man. Plug.
Shout out.
You know. All right, man. Let's move on, man. Glorious War. So his first question is, what performance level do you guys want next gen to be? The rumors are that the PlayStation 5 has a 44 CU GPU running at 2.0 gigahertz. People are expecting it to have 11 to 12 teraflops on RNDA instead of GCN. All right, but I just heard a bunch of tech talk. I don't know. What do you guys expect next gen to be performance wise?
Data translate.
Yeah, data translate.
The data
Well,
translate.
Captain, you know. Yo, I heard teraflops, man.
Yo, man, teraflops. It sounds like an evil villain. I am teraflops.
Teraflops. Oh God.
Oh god, I'm quitting the
I'm
industry
putting
now.
the industry. All right.
I don't know.
Go ahead,
It's as far as numbers, it's hard to tell. We kind of know sort of the base, like the architecture, which what's it called? Which SKUs and generations we're looking at, but I don't know how like there was a thing about the clock speeds being like what 14 teraflops, something like that. There was like a rumor going out because I don't think that's gonna be attainable because that'll be more than most people's PCs, and we can't have that.
Did you guys see that one article by some site I never heard of talking about how PS5 is gonna kill PC gaming?
Kill the gaming industry.
Like, are you fucking
Yeah, like,
kidding
what?
me? We hear that every generation, man. You know, last time I checked, people are still PC gaming. Listen, my thing is like, at least give us like, can we at least have every game running at 60 frames a second? I'm like, that's how low I'm going for the bar.
Yeah, it's. I mean, because 4K is supposed to be like quote unquote supposed to be the standard this next generation, but how well is it gonna run it? Like I don't think.
I don't think so. And
Yeah, I
remember,
don't-
we've been promised 1080p 60 frames since PS3. You know,
They can't even get that shit right on a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. What makes us think that I feel like they're only just gonna get to 1080 60 on a new thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 4K. This next gen might be like the 1080p of this gen, but man, I'm think I'm more pessimistic. I don't know.
I think so too.
I don't like. Sheesh. It's gonna be interesting.
Oh, I'm gonna say another controversial thing.
I mean, you controversial.
Yeah,
today.
right.
Yeah,
What's
man,
up with that tonight? Even though I think most of you guys are gonna agree. At least you guys here. Adam probably not because he's an optimistic guy. I think next generation is gonna be the worst one. I think it's gonna be worse than this one. I
It
don't
probably
see
will
things.
be. No, I agree with that because I'm not hyped at all for any of it. Because
not.
look at it, we're seeing the Switch kill it, and they don't have any flops.
Any flop. Many flops.
That's what I'm saying. Like 8K, the shit levitates on your desk, and I'm like, the fucking Switch could barely run in 720 on the handheld. It is killing it.
It is,
So
man.
it's like, does it matter? You know what I mean? And it ruins the whole system, the whole idea of like what we want for next gen. It's fucking Switch still winning. That's what sucks. So let's say if you're just an investor and you got money for days and like, yo, I want to put money in the number one system. I hear this PS5 is gonna be crazy. Xbox One does all this stuff, smoke and fire and all this shit comes out of it. All right, which one is gonna be the big money maker? The guy who knows all this shit. I'm like, Switch shit, here, hold this in your hand. What the fuck is this? It's like 1970 shit. No, it's gonna be good. And it makes a lot of money, and it's the number one console right now.
Yeah,
Really?
think about it, right? Think about it. The Switch, let's just be real. It sold more than the Xbox One X, the most powerful console of all time.
That's what I'm saying.
Word, what happened? Why the cheapest console beat your shit? You know, come on, man. All right. Anyway, moving on. Unless anybody else wants to say something about performance, I think we're just all cynical as fuck right now about next
I
gen.
mean, I don't think next generation is going to be the worst generation, but I agree with Adam. I'm not really looking forward to it, but I haven't really been looking forward to any sort of generation, even with the PlayStation 4. Like,
Yeah. By the way,
I mean,
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, Manny, I just hope you kind of understand my logic, right? Because I feel this generation has been the worst, and I think next generation is gonna be worse than this one. So that's why I think that one's gonna be the
to
worst.
be honest, I'm neither here nor there on this generation.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
be honest,
yeah.
I feel like every single generation has just kind of been like, just kind of just straight across. I feel like PlayStation 2 era is kind of the one where we're really spiking and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was the last great era, in my opinion. I think that's the last
Yeah.
good, true era before all this bullshit started happening. I'm not gonna detail what the bullshit is, but a lot of bullshit. All right, let's move on. What games do you guys think will sell well or flop for the rest of the year? Interesting question. Adam. Ooh, you're not gonna like what he says.
Oh,
He goes,
shit.
I think Gears of War 5 will not perform well in the NPDs and physical charts, and I think Death Stranding will be Hideo Kojima's best-selling game he has ever made. That's a
He's
bold
smoking crack
statement,
rock.
sir.
Oh, I disagree with that.
Well, I'm not going to
disagree,
disagree, but I'm not going to go that fucking far, bro, because we don't know. That game could flippity-flop,
Yeah,
I mean,
to be honest, it's like this is unproven territory where we are with Kojima. This could either be I see that game as either is probably going to be the most polarizing game that has ever existed. That's what I think that
for
game is
Kojima
gonna be.
or in all time.
I think of all time.
Damn. All right.
Because
I think there are going to be people that are going to be like, "Oh my god, this game and then there's going to be like, oh my god, this game.
Yeah.
It's going to be like that.
You think it's going to be this year's Red Dead Redemption 2?
Where is it?
Because that's a polarizing game. Some people either love it like me, or people just hate it.
Even
though it's a best-selling game.
I'm willing to go down that road because to be honest, I'm like, again, I'm all for a person doing everything they've ever wanted to do. Right? That's the freedom I always wanted as an artist. Right? Or essentially me going out there and saying, hey, motherfucker, you're good at what you do. We're giving you money to do what you want to do. I'm cool with that, and I think that's good with Kojima. But at the same time, I also think that because he's allowed to do exactly whatever he wants to do, I think there might be a little bit of that thing that might be happening.
It might be a George Lucas situation, man.
We could be setting ourselves up for essentially episode 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's right. Because he's not going to have any restraints on him anymore. He's not
gonna have any restraints. But then again, he could. Again, people liked PT. People like whatever they played of PT. And stuff like that. So it could. My worry could just be folly, right? Yeah. But I do think that the game is going to be somewhat polarizing because of.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think it's going to sell very well, though. Just the curiosity alone is going to sell that game.
Definitely. Yeah. I think it is the curiosity, but I do think that people are just going to be like. I feel like a lot of people are just going to be like, "What?"
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I'm going to say this though. I'm sorry. I do agree. I think Gears of War 5 is going to flop. As a matter of fact, think about it like this: we know more about Death Stranding's confusing ass than we do about Gears 5. They haven't said shit about Gears 5. And the game comes out in 2 weeks.
What about?
We don't know nothing about this game.
They're doing this huge thing over at Gamescom, and they even said
I'm not at Gamescom right now.
I'm sorry, but
the game comes out in 3 weeks.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's Adam. But honestly, that's good to know. That like, yo, you need to show something, bro.
But they said it. He even said it at E3 when he came out. The fucking head.
Jeff Keighley?
The guy from Coalition. I'm blanking
Richard,
on his
Richard Bailey Jr.
I have an announcement.
So when he came out, he said, hey, we got some stuff. We're going to show you this new mode, but that's pretty much it. The next stuff we're doing later on in next month, and that's going to be amazing at Gamescom and all thing. He announced it, and then they posted on their website. Follow them.
All right, Adam, you know what? Hey, listen,
Adam.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
This game comes out in 3 weeks. It's the biggest. It's probably surpassed Halo as Microsoft's biggest fucking franchise now, and we haven't heard shit about it.
What do you mean?
We're not getting commercials.
It's following you're going to jump from character to character, but the main one is about the girl going after.
We don't know who the hell she is, even though I played Gears 4. There's like the game, like we haven't gotten any advertisements. Like I don't see any commercials. I don't have ad blockers, so I don't see any YouTube ads for Gears. Like it's just fucking weird. Everything about this game is freaking.
He said, "Don't worry."
You gotta understand something. There's 2 things that Microsoft love and will throw all their money at. That is Halo and Gear. If this shit was even close to being crap, they wouldn't even bother pushing it out.
I mean, they did kind of do that with Crackdown.
Crackdown was not one of their babies. That was garbage from the beginning. That had so many different problems, developers for years.
Hey man, me and Tony had fun.
Think about it. They spent all this money getting the IP and then building another studio just for the game.
Yo, by the way, off topic, but I got to do this. Did you guys see David Jaffe's thing, man? Yo.
Oh god.
Yo, okay, so he was talking about Xbox's the current gen, right? How fucked up it is, and he was talking about remember that commercial with the handicap kid he was playing on the adaptive controller. So he was like, yeah, that's great that you do that, but what's the kid gonna be saying stuff? Hey God, thank you for putting me in a wheelchair, but at least you gave me Crackdown 3. I was like, damn,
damn.
Like Jeffy, you crazy, bro.
Well, Jeffy's got nothing to lose at this point in time. Yeah. He's already burnt all the bridges, so.
But going back to I think Gears of War, that's probably going to be a dud. What else is coming out this year? Those are probably the 2 biggest games. I mean, there's going to be Call of Duty is going to be fucking huge. You already know.
They're going to
Control.
Yeah, Control's going to be fucking dope, but I don't think that's going to blow up like that.
Ori is 2020, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But that's not-
Pokemon Sword and Shield comes out this
Oh, Pokemon, yeah.
Pokemon's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Pokemon?
Call of Duty's gonna blow up too.
Call of Duty.
Call
Call
of
of Duty.
Duty. What else is coming out
Ape-
this year, man?
Apex Legends Season 6.
Season 6, that's right. You know,
Oh, is it?
No, I
What's
just made up shit.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what other games are coming out this year.
I guess
Oh, go ahead.
I guess that's the only games. Control, Pokemon,
Death
Call of
Stranding.
Duty, Death Stranding,
And Gears
and
5.
Gears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys in the
Look
chat
it up.
got any other game, Skull and Bones not coming out this year. Neither is Dreams. Those games aren't coming out this year. Dreams, Dreams don't quote me on that, but Skull and Bones, they actually announced that the game's not coming out this year. Oh, Borderlands 3, yeah, I don't know. I get
You
it.
never
Depends.
cared for Borderlands.
No, I never, but I'm trying to be objective about it because people are pretty hyped for that, so it could do well. It could do well.
But even despite all the insanity that's happening with that game,
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, with the Epic Store and all
with the
that.
studio,
Yeah.
with the studio connected
Adam-
to that.
Adam, aren't you hyped for Borderlands?
No.
Damn, I thought it was your shit, bro. What happened?
It'll be fun to play,
What?
but it
No
just
roadie
doesn't-
run, man.
It just
There's not enough
it doesn't happen. It just
Oh, you're not
feels
Brett.
like, you know what? It feels like more of the same, and so it's not excited for it.
And
So-
you don't,
so
feel,
in
you
other
don't
words-
feel that way about Gears, right?
I just told you, Gears is my Mario.
Oh, I got two. I got a couple.
Excuse me?
Oh,
Okay, what you got? Boo, what you got? What you got?
Star Wars Jedi: The Fallen Order.
That's dropping this year.
That got canceled.
November 15th.
Oh, you mean Jedi? Un-Jedi charted?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm not hyped for that.
Wait, that
That's
shit's
gonna-
coming out. Why aren't they talking about that?
Well, they're not
Yeah,
talking
you
about
would
Gears.
think-
That shit comes out in fucking 2 days.
Wow, it's 2 days.
Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Shenmue 3.
I think that one's gonna.
Oh, let me.
I don't think the game is gonna bomb, but I don't think it's gonna do as well as they think it's gonna do.
Yeah.
Let me throw some fan service to the throwdown through the throwdown panel.
Yeah.
Doom Eternal.
That's not coming out this year, is it?
It
No,
says
It's
it
next
says
year.
Doom Eternal. I thought that was next year.
2020.
Come on, man. You get me hyped for nothing, man.
yo,
Is
fuck
that
this
a-
calendar, man.
Is-
This calendar is so fucking. Yo,
Wait, hold on, Carlos.
Maybe
I
it is.
think it is. November 22nd.
yo,
Okay.
love this calendar, man.
Excuse me. Okay, thank you for giving me something to be something else to be hyped about. Fuck, that's the same month as Death Stranding. You fucking game industry, man.
Don't worry, Death Stranding
No,
is only like 2 hours.
That's
long.
Gameageddon, man.
No,
November.
this is Kojima, son. He's gonna be there for 50
You're just
hours.
gonna be walking around. Did you not see the trailers? Shit, walk and talk.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be the butt of game,
Yeah.
man.
Put it
Adam,
in
Adam, stop
cinematic
worrying
view.
about Death Stranding and start worrying about Gears.
Gears.
Man.
I can't worry about Gears. I
No,
can't worry about it.
Gears can do no wrong. They could even make a
Gears
shitty
can
game and he'll love it. Go play that stop game, man.
We're gonna play the power.
Oh shit!
I can't wait. I can't wait.
You already got a chubby thinking about it, man.
He's like, oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
All right, let me see it.
Star Wars.
No, Final Fantasy VII is not this year. That's next year, Brent. March, I believe.
Match.
So
Ah,
that
man.
what's going on, brother?
Yo, man, the Star Wars is gonna flop, man.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, I hope it's good. I just, man, what I saw, I didn't like. Not so much.
Hey, man, it's your boy Stig that's making that game.
It is Stig. That's the
Oh,
only thing. But
Stig.
yeah, I like Stig, but I don't know, man.
Fucking-
Anything Star Wars just disgusts me now, man. What a fucking disappointment, man. The franchise is now. I'm not gonna get into that.
Let's go, man.
Excuse me. All right, I think we're. Oh, Astral Channel. I forgot about that shit. That's not gonna flop. That's gonna be good. It's
Astral
on Switch.
Chain?
It's on Switch. You know it's gonna sell. You know.
Did you ask,
the new Platinum game, Manny?
Oh, okay.
Did you ask Glorious Wars questions?
Yeah. We just did both of them right now, son.
Okay, cool.
The first one was about the PS5. The spec, and we just answered his one about the flops. The flops. Oh god. So he asked us about teraflops and now flops.
I'm gonna have to get another fucking fan for this console.
God. I think we're done here, man.
Done,
Yeah,
son.
we're done, son. Good shit. All right. Oh yeah, got to pull up graphics. Let me pull up the graphic here. There's so much shit I have here now. Where the fuck? Here we go. All right. So how to ask us and submit questions to us, man. So step 1, you join our Discord. Step 2, on Discord, you go to the Throwdown Your Questions section. And step 3, you submit the motherfuckers, man. You're limited to 2. And as always, I want to give a shout out to the Discord crew. You guys are always in there giving us stories to talk about every week. You know, man, you guys saved our asses last week again, man. There's something going on, you know. But thankfully, this week, Gamescom, baby. So we're definitely going to have shit to talk about, you know. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we have something to talk about. That should be very interesting, you know.
We know Kojima's going to be there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he is, man. Yo, by the way, I want to give a shout out to Broken Games HD. He said he tweeted this out. He's like, I swear that Jeff Keighley is 5 months pregnant with Hideo Kojima's child. I was like,
Yo, man, Jeff Keighley is Kojima's preferred
Western
documentarian. You know.
Yo, think about the clout you gotta have where you had like, no, that's the motherfucker that interviews me exclusively.
It's like Muhammad Ali and Howard Cosell, right? Muhammad Ali would always be interviewed by Howard Cosell, no matter what. It's like that. You just won't go to anybody else. You just talk to Howard Cosell.
Man, yeah, Kojima, man. So yeah, Gamescom should be very interesting, you know. All right, all right. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the Throwdown Discord server, and we'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and the Facebooks at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and today I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley. Take care, everyone. Carlos Romero. Later,
if 1 + 1 is 2 and 3 + 3 is 4, why plus 4? Nah.
This is and Adam Vale.
Have a good week, everybody.
All right, guys.
Don't worry about
Gamescom. Yeah, don't worry about it. But a game. All right, man. Thursday, Gamescom. Yeah.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Later, people.